Hello, hello, and welcome to Erica on Air. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and come chat with me. Today, I have a special friend in here that I cannot wait to share with you guys. She drove 4.5 hours today to be here for this podcast. Thank you so much for doing that, too.
Of course, my pleasure.
It's Tisha Alt, and y'all, she's absolutely gorgeous. I've always described her to my husband as, you know, the really beautiful lady with blonde hair that we met on our trip. We've stayed in touch ever since we met at a brand builders convention at the beach. We were at Isle of Palm. Is that right? Isle of Palm?
Yeah, it was Isle of Palm. I can't think of the name of the resort.
Isla or something.
I think it's Isabella's the name of the resort.
We were at the same brand builders retreat, and we met there, and she's just absolutely precious. So precious and gorgeous. So I am going to introduce her to all y'all today. I want y'all to hear all about her and her upbringing and her life because she has an incredible story of hope. So you're going to want to hang on tight and listen to everything.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about growing up, like where you were born and how it was growing up for you.
I was raised in Cedartown, Georgia, which is almost like population 7,000.
Like town.
It's like small town like you, you know. Everybody knows everybody, and very small high school. I think my graduation class was like 200 maybe.
Okay.
And I'm an only child. I'm an only grandchild.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I'm the only child, only grandchild. And it was fun growing up in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised by a single mother and kind of raised by my grandparents too, because my mom was 19 when she had me. And so my grandmother, this just tell you how crazy ages are these days. I was 35 when I had my first child. My grandmother, my nanny, I called her nanny, she was 36 when I was born, which I just can't wrap my head around it. Like she became a grandmother at 36.
I know, same thing like with my granny because they started so much earlier then. So she got married at 15 and had her first kid at 16. My mom got married at 18, first kid at 20. And so same. We had our first kid when I was 27.
Oh, and that is such a blessing.
Which to me felt older. Oh, but I mean, like you were saying, your first one, you were how old?
I was 35.
Yeah.
Yep, I was 35, and that wasn't really planned, you know. I met my husband when I was 26. I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit here, but this is the craziest story, and it's a wonderful love story and another thing to offer hope for people out there that think they're never going to find their Prince Charming, you know. And we met at a single Sunday school class, and literally our second date, we told each other we loved each other, which was, we laughed about it. Like, we're crazy. Like,
and you were 26?
26, and he was 29.
Okay.
And we'd gone to a Braves game, and then that night we're like, you know, I think we love each other. And so we literally started praying that day, me being an only child, only grandchild, right? For our families to not think we're crazy, you know, and for our friends, we literally prayed for weeks. So 2 weeks after we met, we went to the church and planned our wedding without anybody knowing.
That is so cool.
2 weeks after that, which was July 1st, because we met Memorial Day weekend in May. So the end of May. I always get Memorial Day and Labor Day messed up. And so July 1st, we got engaged, and we got married November 19th. And the only reason we waited to November is because there wasn't a date available at the church.
Oh.
We would have married sooner. But we just knew. We just knew. I mean, it was the coolest thing. And
I think, too, when you're older, you do also. You've been through enough of life that you're like, if you see them, you know it. And if not, you know, I'm not wasting time on this. And you knew it. You knew that was it for you.
Yep. That's exactly right. And we immediately, because we were older, we were ready to start a family. And so for 7.5 years, we tried. And without success. And we went through one artificial insemination. And after all the months of negative pregnancy tests, and then that becoming negative, like it didn't take, I told my husband that day, I said, I'm done. We're going to spoil our nieces and nephews, and I'm done. And I had always wanted to take painting classes. And
That's what I say I'm going to do when I retire.
Oh my goodness.
I say that all the time.
Well, a doctor had told me too, she was like, if you want to reduce stress in your life, if you want to get pregnant, reduce stress in your life. Well, I was a pharmaceutical rep. And so I was busy.
Your whole life was go, go, go.
It was go nonstop. And so I quit that job and I started taking an art class.
So you quit that job before that?
I quit the job before I got pregnant. Wow. So we were married, for years. I did that job and then I just quit. And we went to France. I went to Provence with a group of 60 in our art class to paint. Oh, we actually went over there.
Did you take the class with you?
Oh, the whole class went. We went over there. We took pictures to come back and paint. And while I was there, I felt kind of sick.
Yeah.
Came back, found out I was pregnant.
That's the coolest. That is so cool.
And
so he took these art classes with you also?
He did not take them. I'm
sorry. He went on the trip with you?
He did not go on the trip with me.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you just...
Evidently, I was pregnant before I went.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Pretty cool story. 10 months later, found out I was pregnant again. And I'm like...
Okay, you just had a 2-month-old?
When I found out I was pregnant again.
Wow.
He was 10 months old, sorry.
Oh, he was 10 and then you found out you were pregnant. Okay.
Found out I was pregnant again. And then I'm like, I had 2 boys. So I'm like, okay, well, remember, I'm an only child, only grandchild, never been around children. I'm like, okay, this is good, right? 2's fine. I'm 39 and I find out I'm pregnant again.
Yeah.
And that was my baby girl.
I'm surprised it wasn't twins because usually at that point it's twins.
Oh, yeah. And at that point, too, I said, Scott, we're done. So
I'm so glad you got your girl. And
yes.
She looks just like you.
Oh, my gosh. She is my joy. I mean, my boys are my joy, too. It's a different relationship.
Totally different.
It's a totally different relationship. But her being the baby, it's kind of like she's an only child. Mm-hmm. And she's like a firstborn girl.
Mm-hmm.
So she's very strong. And
she a daddy's girl?
She is a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's much more a daddy. If she wants something, she goes to her daddy.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And he doesn't tell her no.
She is a big daddy's girl.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. It's been so sweet.
So sweet.
Sweet to watch.
So talk about that. Let's talk about like where you didn't have a dad in your life. How do you think like that affected you growing up and then finding love?
Well, I tell you, I didn't believe in love that much, honestly, because I had watched my mom be hurt so much, and then, guys leave, right? Mm-hmm. And my dad pretty much left when I was around 2. And off and on, I tried to have a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. And I think, when you know better, you do better kind of saying, I don't know that he ever learned to do better. And I don't know that he loved himself enough to accept me. So like he would accept me and then he would just disappear. Mm-hmm. It was like really crazy. So anyway, so when I met Scott, him having God as, the number one in his life, he was single for 2 years before we met and just really focused on his career and his faith. His relationship with God. And so he was prepared for when he found me. And so I'm telling you, it'll make me tear up now thinking about it, but it's like God gave him this way to talk to me and settled my heart. Like I immediately trusted him.
I started to say, because you had a trust issue with God.
I did. I absolutely did. And you don't even know that feeling because you didn't have it. Like you don't know how much joy, like and comfort and security. Yes.
It's the security that they make you feel.
Yep. And it's literally like, I literally look back and I feel like God healed my heart. Like that. I mean, like he healed it so quickly. So I was able to open up and I was able to allow Scott in. And he told me on our second date, he's like, nobody will ever abandon you again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nobody will ever hurt you again.
And the cool thing that I love about marriage in that aspect too is you get that family. Like you didn't have that family dynamic, but you married into one.
Yes.
And you don't just marry. I say that it can go good or bad, girls that's listening, young girls. You marry the whole family.
Yep.
In my instance, it was great. And you got to gain, a great family, but it can go bad too, but it is a gift to get a whole nother family in your life.
It is. And for me to be allowed to have my own family, to make my own memories with, and to get to nurture my children.
Anything you thought you missed?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, it's one of those things where you want to give your kids everything that you didn't have, you know, and Scott and I both kind of feel that way. And so our kids are a little rotten, you know, but they are compassionate, loving, giving humans. So we did something
tell us
right.
about the kids. Start with the boys.
Okay, my oldest is Duke. He's 23.
I love his name.
And his name's David Cooper. He was named after our pastor that married us and counseled us, but we call him Duke.
Okay.
Funny story. Scott told me when we first, you know, were talking about getting pregnant, he's like, I want my son to be named Duke. And I'm like, I'm not going to name my son Duke. Like, what in the world? He's like, oh, I can just hear the stands cheering, Duke, Duke.
Guys are like that.
Guys are so
thing.
funny. Yes. And then he's like, and Duke means leader in German.
Oh, well, that's cool.
So I'm like, we're going to have a son named Duke.
I thought maybe y'all were Duke fans or something.
No, we're not Duke fans.
Okay.
It was just this dream of Scott's, and he is a Duke. I mean, he's a strong leader, beautiful young man, and I love him to death. And then there's my Jacob Clayton.
Okay.
Clayton was my papa's name. My nanny and my papa raised me, and so my papa's name was Clayton. So he's Jacob Clayton. We call him Jake. I call him Jacob most of the time, but most people call him Jake.
Okay.
And he's here he lives in Franklin, Tennessee, and he's wanting to get his general contracting license. And so he's working with a builder, and he's loving life, doing great.
In a great town.
He is thriving there.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
he plays music, like he plays his guitar. He's got his little TikTok account, you know, where he, you know, does covers and stuff of music. And and Duke, he's actually about to start a new job, and he's also been interviewing for the Air Force, and it's been like a year process. I had no clue it was such a long process, but he has his final interview with that on Thursday, but since then he's gotten a job. So I don't know that he's going to go that route. Right. But he's still going to follow through and complete everything in case something happens and he doesn't like this job, right? So, but anyway, and then there's my Anna Scott, and she is my equestrian, my English writer. She's a jumper, and she's been doing it since she was about 8.
It's so pretty.
And she loves it, and she wants to be a Grand Prix rider, but I really wanted her to have a college experience. And so she said, okay, well, I'll go for a year.
This is so backwards from what most. It's usually the kids want the college experience and the parents don't want them to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have always told our kids, you don't have to go to college, because we believe, you know, that's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But then with her, me having a girl, and I was in a sorority, and, you know, I was like, I just would like for you to do it for 1 year.
See if you enjoy it.
See if you enjoy it. And then, you know, if you want to come back out and get your horse and go do whatever you can. But so she started at the University of Alabama about 2 weeks ago. She's went through Rush, and she is a Zeta, which is my legacy.
Okay.
And I didn't know, but that really doesn't have anything to do with it anymore. Used to,
that used to be really big.
It was a really big thing, but now if you're a legacy, they don't really, maybe they take into account, but it's not a big deal anymore. So she got it all fair and square on her own. Awesome. And the Zetas at the University of Alabama are amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing girls. And for networking, that's what I wanted her to do, the sorority, so she could network, she could travel the world.
I love meeting people, and so it's a good way to do that. It's funny, I wasn't in a sorority in college.
Okay.
I cheered in college, and I was so busy, and I was in love all of college too.
Yeah.
But I was not in a sorority. And everyone would always say, you would love it, you would love it. But the truth was, I probably would have loved it. But they had required meetings I think their chapter meetings were every Wednesday night. And I had Bible study.
Oh.
And so I was not going to miss Bible study for it.
Yep.
And so I never did the sorority life. But when I went to University of Tennessee at Memphis for hygiene school, I ran for class president and you don't know any of the people in there. And so there was 32 of us girls, and I got class president, and I pretty much turned that into our own sorority. We did our own charitable events. We had our own functions. We had events, socials with the dental students at the same time.
That's awesome.
It was so fun. It really was. That's, to me, I say that was my little experience of the sorority life. I've got a lot of sorority cups from girls. They bring them to me.
Do they?
They borrow dresses and earrings and stuff for their formals,
Oh, I'm
and they're
sure.
always bringing me cups. So it's so funny. People around here have always said that they thought I was in a particular sorority because they were always borrowing stuff in that sorority. And I was like, no, it just happened to be a lot of my babysitters went to that one,
That's so awesome. Yeah, you're a girl's girl.
I love it. And there's nothing like I love sharing my closet with someone I really care about. Mm-hmm. To me, that's like to let them just come in and borrow things and wear it. It just brings me so much joy.
Well, it's crazy at Rush when I'll back up a little bit. When I went to college, I paid my way, and I also got the Pell Grant. So I got a loan that would pay for my sorority stuff. I eventually got a job at a gym also, but I had the Pell Grant. But I didn't have the nice clothes. And so sweet Jana, she's a Tennessee girl, she had some Guess jeans that I loved. And she always let me wear her Guess jeans. And I always wore other people's clothes. And so it was so cool. I told Scott when I got home from Rush, I said, it's really cool to watch God do a full circle. Like the girls were taken out of her closet. Mm-hmm. Her skirts, her Love Shack fancy skirt and dress that still had the tags on them. She's just handing out.
She didn't care, yeah.
Nope. And I said, you know what? That is a God wink that, you know what? Look where you've come from to where now your baby girl can bless girls the way you were blessed.
The way your friend did for you.
Yep.
It's funny when you said Guess. Oh, that brought back so many memories. So I was fifth grade when that was really big, which would have been about right if you were in college, right?
Yep. Because I graduated high school 86.
Okay. I was born in 81. So we're 13 years apart.
Yep.
Which doesn't seem like anything right now. But back then
it was
would
a
have
lot.
been. Yeah. But, I loved some Guess, too. And then we had a boutique growing up, and Esprit was really big in my
I remember Esprit for sure.
I loved Esprit, too.
Yeah, I liked them, too.
I can still, my mom and I kid, there's still some things in my closet from that time because I won't get rid of it.
Oh, my gosh.
I literally
I don't find that hard to believe. That's so awesome.
I had my first pair of designer jeans that when my husband and I were in dental school, his dad would come up and visit us on his way to furniture market. They had a furniture business, generations of furniture business. It's been open for over 75 years.
Oh, wow.
And so his dad would go to Tupelo, Mississippi to furniture market, and he would spend the night with us in Memphis, Tennessee while we were in school. And so he would always say, you want to go shopping? He'd give me some cash and say, you want to go get something to eat and let's go shopping? I never had extra cash to just, go shopping on. We were just, we were
college
eating
students.
leftovers. Exactly.
Exactly.
It was soup in hand for lunch. And so I had been wanting this pair of designer jeans. I had caught my eye on when I moved away to college. First time I'd really took eye on these jeans. And I was like, I really want those jeans. And so LG said, you need to get those with the money Dad got you, get those jeans. I've still got those jeans in my closet today. It was my first pair ever.
That is so awesome.
LG's favorite pair to this day. He'll say, you've got on those jeans, I love it. But I've had to have them patched 3 times. I mean, they're just threadbare now,
Yes.
Poor Nanny O's patched them and patched them and patched them. But there's a few things like that I'm so sentimental about. And fashion means something to me. And so, especially when it comes to that, dresses my mom made me, they're in my closet. I'm just very sentimental about that kind of stuff.
That is so cool.
At what point, I'm new to all this college stuff, so my son's just starting his junior year. At what point do you start looking at the colleges and doing the tours and everything as a mom?
A junior is the best time to start, for sure. She knew that she didn't want to be more than, she wanted to be as close to her barn. Her barn's in Cartersville, Georgia, Three Bears Farm. Amazing place. And she has 2 horses. One she leases out. That's Cadet, and then Ivy is her horse that she has been growing with and going up higher and higher in her jumps. But she didn't want to be too far from there, so she loved Ole Miss.
I do too.
Mississippi State. And of course UGA, which we live at Lake Oconee, so it's only an hour from us. Athens is really very close. And my husband and literally all of his family are UGA grads.
Really?
Yeah.
So where did this Alabama come from?
Well, we were at a friend's house. It's a girl that she rides horses with. We were just sitting around a table. She was a freshman in high school, and a friend came home from college. She went to Alabama, and she brought 3 of her girlfriends with her.
Yeah.
And so Anna Scott literally was just thinking she wasn't going to college. She was going to ride her horse, right?
She had no interest.
So she's listening to Alice talk about going to Paris for Fashion Week with a friend that she met in her sorority.
Oh.
And then, they were just telling story after story after story, and Anna Scott's eyes were just this big, and mine were too. Afterwards, I was like, well, does that sound fun to you? You know, like, does you think you might be interested in that? And that seed was planted, and that's where Alabama came from.
Okay.
And since then,
But did she go tour a lot of others?
No.
Really? Because a lot of people have told me that when they do go tour other places, a lot of times they totally change their mind from the tours.
Well, she didn't, because Tuscaloosa is only 3 hours from her barn.
Okay.
And there just were not. Now, KSU is closer to her barn, but that was too close to home. And she kind of wanted to go where there were not many people from her school going.
Okay. Kennesaw, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Kennesaw.
Okay. At first I was thinking, no, Kansas State is not.
Kennesaw State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she wanted to kind of go far away.
So she needs to be able to come home and ride at least every other weekend at the barn, right?
Yeah, and we'll see if she gets to do that. We have somebody there that we pay to ride, and we'll see.
Yeah. How far is the barn from your house?
It's 2 hours.
Oh. So she has had to take that road a lot.
She has. She's been since she was 16. I drove her a lot. And then she started driving it on her own. So she has been traveling on an interstate for years.
In Atlanta traffic.
Wow,
that's huge.
Yep.
No challenges for her if she's done that.
Yeah. I honestly, as hard as it was in the beginning, I'm thankful now that she's had some experience doing it, because, I've got some friends. As a matter of fact, I might be bringing a friend home to Eatonton on Friday from Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
Because her mom's like, I don't really want her driving home yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
if they've not had experience, it's kind of hard to send them to college and then all of a sudden, that was me. I hadn't had a lot of experience, then I moved off to Memphis. But I just got my confidence by just driving around. If LG was studying, I would just drive. I love back roads. I get that from my dad. And so I just want to just keep going all different ways and figuring it out. And looking back, that's so crazy because we didn't have GPS on a smartphone.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I just did it all by memory. I don't know what I was thinking. And in Memphis, Tennessee, a young girl by myself, but I just wasn't scared at the time. I would pick up homeless people. LG would get so mad at me picking up
I can see that.
Yeah. And so he got to where he told me I couldn't do that anymore. So I kept Little Debbie's in my vehicle, Little Debbie's and Lance crackers. And so at least I could, if I saw that they were hungry, I could give them some food. Something. Yeah. But it was a grow up experience for me, for sure. Going from my small town to Memphis, Tennessee was huge.
I can't even imagine. That's
culture shock.
Huge culture shock.
It was. So give us tell us another bit about a hope story with your family.
Well, we had some struggles when my boys were teenagers, and I think I love Green's podcast. He just sharing the real of. There's so many struggles these days with the kids with social media, and they just have everything at their fingertips. I
hate the way they have to grow up.
I do too. It's not right. It's not fair, and.
The simple life is so much better.
It is. It is so much better. And, I don't know that we'll ever see that again.
I know.
Just because of our phones. But my oldest was having a hard time, and so we found a place through some mutual friends who we did a Bible study with, whose son had gone to, it's a place called Capstone, and it's out in Searcy, Arkansas.
Okay.
And Adrian, he is an angel on earth. He's the founder of this place. Okay. And since then, we have referred no less than 8 young men to this place just to go. It's a 3-month program, ages 14 to 26. And he says it's important.
So it's just for young men.
It's just for young men. And it's very important to accept men up to 25 and 26 because the frontal lobe is not developed. And so that's why he keeps it open that age. And the cool thing is, with therapy, the neural pathways in your brain can change. I mean, that's hope, right? You know? And so Duke went, and they have something called Sibling Intensive. And so Jake was able to go to that.
That's so cool. Well, do they have anything that the whole family can go to since it's just for boys?
Yes.
Okay.
They have a family week.
Okay.
And so we also go out there for a week. And so, because the kids don't usually get there by themselves. Like,
oh, that's a long ways away. I've been to Searcy, Arkansas before.
oh, yeah. Yeah. And
It's
like,
kind of in the middle of nowhere, too.
it is totally in the middle of nowhere. And something that Adrian says as far as like the kids, a lot of kids are triggered by divorce or, you know, different things that they're having a hard time with. And Adrian calls something the backpack effect, where like I didn't deal with a lot of my stuff growing up, abandonment or whatever. Like, you don't even know, but you take that backpack off yourself and you put that on them. And so, like, I was extra protective, overprotective of him. You know, I kind of smothered him.
From your past, you put that onto your children, even though they didn't live it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so it's called the backpack effect. That's why as adults, I think it's so important to get therapy to kind of deal with, you know, childhood traumas or whatever. And that's what I'm so thankful for about my boys now is they have gone into their 20s knowing so much about themselves and the way to redirect their thinking, their thoughts, to get rid of what Dr. Amen, I don't know if you've heard of Amen Clinics, but Dr. Amen, he's amazing. He does these brain scans, and he says to get rid of the ants, which are the automatic negative thoughts.
Okay.
And so to redirect your thoughts, therapy helps you do that. So you don't automatically go to the worst case scenario. You know, you can redirect and say, well, is that true? Like you're telling yourself.
You're training yourself how? Well, you were talking about the frontal lobe earlier, and I try saying this so often to teenagers. They put so much pressure on them so young. I mean, in 8th grade, they're supposed to already be knowing which path they want to take in school, if they're going to go career, tech, college path. And then, I mean, their brain is not fully developed till you're 25. And in a small town, they want you to already have your career picked by that point, started your job. Most of them's married and starting to have kids at 25. They don't even know, they're not even grown themselves. You know, and so I think that all that's doable. I don't think that it's like you can't do that, but I think that you have to show yourself some grace.
Absolutely.
And I think that you have to not back yourself in a corner and always say, this is what I'm going to be when I grow up. This is what I'm going to be when I grow up, so that you feel like you're a failure when you change your mind.
Yep.
You know, if you're third year, if you're a third year in college student and you were in dental school and you decide, you know, I don't want to work on teeth the rest of my life. Kudos to you.
Yep.
You're not a quitter.
You're not a quitter.
You are strong. You've got the rest of your life, and you're doing it at the right time instead of waiting and going further. And so I think that's it too, to like just know that your past can change.
Yep.
You can completely turn around from different things and not. So I tell my kids that all the time. I'm like, don't ever back yourself in a corner to where I believe in you. You can do anything you really want to do. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But just so that you give yourself the option to change your mind.
Well, and I think it's okay to change. I mean, I literally went so I graduated college in 90 with a marketing degree.
Okay.
I went to work at Delta Airlines, and then I went to work as the office manager, you'll appreciate this, for an oral maxillofacial surgeon.
Oh, yeah.
He was kind of like the up-and-coming sleep apnea.
Yeah, early. That was early.
That was early talking about that.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then I became a pharmaceutical rep. And I mean, I'm just constantly recreating myself. So you don't have to be stuck in one thing. Like, you can change your mind. I mean, my boys think they crack up because I'm always like, well, just go to Home Depot and get a job. You know, right? Just, that doesn't mean you're going to stay there forever, but just to build some, experience and to meet people and character. Just because you're working there doesn't mean you're going to be stuck there,
Yeah.
But these kids have it in their head that if they start something, they have to stay.
Right. Or maybe they are, and they climb that corporate ladder.
Thank you.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing wrong with staying there.
That's right.
It is. I say the same thing. I'm like, just get out there, put yourself out there. My husband and I were listening to a thing the other day, and this gentleman said that he told his daughter, he was like, she wanted to be like this interior decorator. And he said, okay, I'm not going to pay for you to go to college to sit in a class and read books about interior decorating. It's ever changing. And he was like, you find 3 of the people that you admire the most in this field in the world.
So smart.
And he said, you reach out to them yourself and you tell them, I will come to work for you for free for 2 years just to understudy you, just to learn. I'll work for free. I'll be the very best employee you have for 2 years. And he said, I'll pay your way. I'll pay your cost of living. And you go get your education from them. Because they've already put all those years in and that experience, and you're going to have hands-on experience. And he said that's the best. He said that's the way I invested in college with my kids. Yes, and there's some careers you can't do that. In our home, you can't be a dentist that way.
Right.
But I totally see that. Myself and my girlfriends were meeting for coffee Friday. We talk about this. None of us are using our college degree.
Right.
We're all doing something different. And I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. I still say that to my kids. I'm 44 and I'm like, it's okay. I still don't know what I'm going to be exactly.
That's the same way I am with just now being officially an empty nester, whatever that means. And I'm
you and your husband, it's not going to phase y'all.
You know what?
Y'all will just keep going on more dates and traveling.
That's right. I'm just going to travel with him. And I do want to take a watercolor class.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of, I have this dream of taking a watercolor class and then painting the Zeta house at Alabama.
Aww.
And maybe gifting it.
So sweet.
I just.
So I thought you were going to say to be able to do your children. I have a friend, or your grandchildren.
Oh God, no, that's maybe way out there, but that is a cool idea.
I spent the night with one of my friends. She lives out of town, and in their guest bathroom, they have this piece of artwork that you see right behind the mirror. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's of her girls, and it's her mother-in-law did it. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing ever to me. Not only is it this great piece of artwork of your girls, but to think that their grandmother did it.
Yes.
And so that's what I told G. When I'm like, when I get older, I'm painting. I'm going to find a way to paint. I'm going to be that mother-in-law that's handing over a painting that they're going to be like, oh gosh, where have we got to put this?
Yes, I am seriously. I mean, I do need to redo my kitchen right now. I've got all these things I want to do, and afterwards I got to talk to you about your windows.
Okay.
Because
we're at the right place.
I know we are. I thought maybe so, because I'm wanting to change out my windows and stuff. And I watched you do that. How many years ago was that?
Ooh, the ice storm came in 2021. So it was then. So 4 years ago.
So it was soon after I met you. I watched you go through. I watched the transformation. I mean, it was so cool. So I've got some projects up my sleeve.
Windows are one of those hidden things that changes the house quicker than anything. I feel like it really does. I mean, we had an ice storm then, and we had windows that were over 35 years old, and it was a situational deal. But I called the owners of the people who own the studio here, Willow Windows. For those of you listening, this is a podcast studio inside of a showroom. And called the owners, and he was like, yeah, I'll come up and measure your windows. And everything I was telling him, because I'm one of those girls that I can decorate an entire place in my head. It's already up there. Mm-hmm. Like my house is already 12 years from now, I can see it. And so I was like, okay, this is really what I want. But I didn't know if I can get there with this. And he said, we can do anything. Anything's possible. We can do it. And I was like, really? We can just switch this? And that's what sold me. Well, as soon as he said anything's possible, because I thought he really cares.
Yeah. And he did it so fast.
He's not just saying, well, this is the brand I carry of this and this. He was listening to what I wanted. Oh, yeah. I wanted an Italian look of cafe windows. And I just had some ranch style windows. I mean, it totally changes the whole look of the house. And it's just because he was open to the vision that I had to trying it, So, I'm all the time praising this place. So great. They've done some pretty cool country music artists' house too. That's pretty.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They've done some cool projects and stuff. But
that's awesome.
But I would be like you. If I had all of a sudden become empty nest, I'd have to have some projects lined up.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I going to do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
I do have some projects lined up, like I said, but
you're going to be on the road between Franklin and Alabama.
Yes, I for sure am.
That's what y'all are going to be doing a lot of.
Yep.
Well, do you have any more like piece of advice, anything you would change in life if you had it to do over?
Honestly, I think just more faith. I really didn't. Actually, I think I would say I would dream bigger. Mm-hmm. I had no idea the life that I'm living right now, that this was possible. Mm-hmm. With a loving husband, healthy children, and just a loving family. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would have never dreamed. And so, the Bible tells us God will give you the desires of your heart. Mm-hmm. And my desire was always to have a family. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I really thought it could happen or that I really believed that verse. So if there's something I could say, it would be focus on that verse and believe it.
And if you're growing up and you don't have a dad in your life or even present parents, like you said, you were having to be co-raised and not in the same environment you live in today at all.
No, not at all. And our kids have been raised, whatever normal is, of course everybody has their stuff.
We do. But we learn from those challenges.
We learn from those. When you know better, you do better.
Yes, the older I get, the more I really do try to soak in those tough times because I'm old enough to have seen the other side of them so many times and how we do overcome it and we can see what we gain from it.
Absolutely. And you don't look at it as a mistake. It's a learning. Mm-hmm. It's a lesson.
It's an exercise.
Yeah, it's a lesson that I won't do it that way next time. Instead of getting down on yourself and beating yourself up, just make the better choice the next time. And sometimes we don't even know we're making the wrong choice, right?
No, I still don't.
Absolutely.
I tell my kids all the time, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's my first time to raise a 17-year-old.
Thank you.
It's my first time to have a 13-year-old daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Show me some grace. I don't know. I made the wrong decision. I'm doing the best I can. And they're all so different from each other. So, you just got to, I'm way easier on myself as a mom in my 40s than I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
And I think that's the good part of that. I always want to just tell younger people that so that I can save them a few years. I'm like, just go easy on yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You're doing the best you can.
That's right. We're judgmental to ourselves more than anyone else is, really,
Absolutely. And as long as your child feels loved and encouraged, they'll get through anything that they have to go through because of your traumas or whatever, they'll get through it.
That security. Yeah. My mom always told me that when I would be stressed about something with the kids, she would say, all you really got to do is love them and keep them alive.
Yep.
She was like, just remember that. Just love them and keep them alive.
That's great advice.
Yeah. Pray for them at night.
And pray for them.
She always prayed for us too, that my brother, I have one sibling, my brother and I were only 15 months apart in age and we are super close. And, she said she always prayed if we were not living a good life because we moved away to college at the same time. One to North Carolina to play football and myself to Memphis. So we were both 4 and 5 hours from her. And she said, I just prayed if they're not living a good life, I pray they don't sleep tonight, Lord. And she said, I wanted it to just eat y'all's conscience if you were not. And I was like, well, thanks, Mom. That was great. Nice. It worked.
And now you're like, I'm praying the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My mama, who was my great-grandmother, she used to say, when they're young, they step on your toes, and when they're old, they step on your heart. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that sticks with me today. And I am on my knees more today.
With adult children.
Than I was when they were
I'm
younger.
seeing that. Just getting and I'm super close to my son. He's a great kid. But you do, because you see them worry about things they don't need to.
Right.
And things that you want to just do it for them so they know that, don't worry about it. When they were 3, we could do it for them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the hard part. That's where you got to start just having more faith in the Lord the older you get and just giving it to Him.
Well, and that's one thing Anna Scott is really looking forward to getting involved in church. Mm-hmm. She's got several that she wants to visit down there and getting in a Bible study. And
that's really important in college.
Oh, I know.
You got to have someone to keep you grounded.
Yep. And I'm like, if you want to meet a guy, what better place to meet one?
Exactly.
you know?
Just like you did. That's where you met.
That's right.
That's where you met your dream husband. So when my husband and I were away in Memphis, we actually attended a church, no longer there, but we attended this church that we just loved, and it only had elderly. They didn't even have any children. And I've grown up in a church with a lot of youth, but they didn't have anyone but elderly. Like, when I say elderly, almost everyone was retired that attended the church there. And in big cities like Memphis, a lot of times an area that's very populated and it's a good part of town, in 15 years is not a good part of town. So when they rezone, the school districts that people move. And so it had used to be a very nice part of town, had become not so nice. And so, but we loved the church. We loved the people. And I told LG and I were talking about it, and I was like, we have young people. We're at school. We're in college with young people all day. We've got their influence. I need a granny and pa here. Awesome. My granny and pa were 4.5 hours away. Mm-hmm. And they did. They stayed on top of it. If we were missing service or if one of us was sick, they wanted to bring soup. So and so it really worked well for us. It did. I wouldn't have wanted to raise children in a church where there was no other youth. Right. But for that point in our life, it really did help keep us grounded and remind us of the important things and everything, because we had enough of the college life around us to see.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely...
You definitely have to find a church home when you're in college.
Absolutely. There's different roads you can take. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and always choose the road less traveled.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for being on here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was so excited to hug your neck.
I know. Great to see you again.
You too.
Thank you.